can't start the show like this. I'm sorry, man. I thought my strings were all stretched out. I bent a couple notes, and you know what we're going to do? I'm going to stretch these strings out, I'm going to retune, and then I'm going to start the show for real. I had a request to play this guitar over the weekend, and so pardon me, I have a pitchfork here. It's an Iowa joke. It's a... I had it all figured out, you know, but then guitar was in tune. But then right before the show, I started riffing on some stuff, you know, and I bent a couple notes, and then the string stretched out.
It's that old Chinese folk song, tuning.
That's right. Maybe that's not politically correct. I don't know. You know, I've known a lot of people from around different parts of the world. Many, and a guy from Turkey, and he was kind of in between the East and the West, as in Turkey is, you know. And I was showing him my Arabic scale, because the oud doesn't have any frets on it. So the Arabs, they play, you know, they play like what would be to us out of tune. Yeah. They go up the scale one way, they come down the other way. And so I was showing him that, my jamming on an Arabic scale on a fretless bass guitar, which of course, you know, without the frets, because these are, you know, they're graduated. So he said that was the difference between East and West, that the West had to be very precise about things. You had to have frets, you know. You know, so if I wiggle back and forth, it's the same note. Yeah. But on oud, of course, you have to, you know, anyway, it's a long story. This is my Western sense. I want frets. I want keys on the piano. Yeah. I want valves on the horn. Not that I have. Where was it? Oh yeah, here. Hang on. Excuse me, there's something wrong with this one. Maybe I'll get this guitar in tune by the end of the show, or maybe I'll give up and play the other one. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. Hello everybody, I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar, and people call me on the phone. They say, hey man, what's your show about? I say, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So you want to ask me a question about the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you? I don't think we have a phone hooked up this week. It doesn't matter. Nobody ever calls anymore. This is technically a call-in show, but this show is very old. It's from the 90s. And when you call in, shows are all the rage. Anyway, Oh yeah, so if you want to ask a question about like the guitarrón, the guitarra, the sitar, chicholes, luz vihuelas, banjos, balaicas, bazookas, bajos, sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos, bandoras, bandolims, mandolins, mandolas, and mandor. Did I say mandoras? I don't know, man. Pipe organs, piccolos, trombones or tromborinas, sax and violins on television. Yeah, so that's a Bob one there. You know, anything musical is fine. Politics, world events, your own personality problems, that's fine. You know, we can talk about it here if you want, but keep it clean. It's a family show. Anyway, I think maybe we'll have to get out of this whole, call-in phone thing, because I know that like young people are terrified of talking on the phone. You know, that's what I've been told by young people.
And we're unable to deal with text in studio here.
Right. Well, we could somehow, but we'd have to have a designated texter, I think. Yeah. One thing I find is like people who do YouTube shows, like YouTube things with a chat going on, they keep stopping to read their feed, and they start saying hello to people. What up, you know, so-and-so, whatever their screen name is. Tommy Knot is one of my favorite. Tommy Knot. But anyway.
Yours?
That's one of, I use it sometimes. But anyway, Tom Knopfnagel, you know. Yeah. A Tommy knot is actually a knot, that kind of a difficult knot that a sailor would know in the old days. When they, had sails.
Before my time, yes.
Yeah, before your days.
Even before my time.
Even before your time. You had big iron ships, probably.
Yeah, that'd been back in the days of wooden ships and iron men.
That's right.
I was in the days of aluminum ships.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. Time passes.
Tell us about that device you're holding.
Well, this is a DBZ Caballo, and I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Which, as we mentioned earlier, makes you a caballero.
That's right. I'll put it in this camera. Yeah, it's a flying V takeoff. It's a DBZ, and I've had it for a while. I had a request that I should play it this weekend at the Tuscan Moon. This is the color is Lamborghini yellow, is what it was. And it's not only on the front, but on the neck, too. Okay? All the back, the neck, everything's all. And it's kind of weird-looking guitar, but it's actually kind of nicely balanced. And it's clear, it's clean, it's not bad. I like it. I haven't played it much for a while. I forget if this has the coil taps. Evidently not. If you pull the...
I assume you won't be playing any headbanger music on it.
I probably could, but a gentleman is someone who knows how to play headbanger music, but chooses not to. But anyway, now this is a DBZ. This is from a few years ago, and earlier this afternoon, I was under the impression that DBZ was dead and gone. Yawn. Sorry, every week this time. So I was looking up because I couldn't remember what this is called. And it's, this particular model, because this has been sitting in my guitar rack on the upper level at the end. I have to be careful to get around a couple of fancy classical guitars that are on stands to get back there, to get this one and the Hailfire, which I almost brought along with it. But I looked. I couldn't remember what it was called, and so I looked it up. That's DBZ guitars, and what I saw online was DBZ by Diamond, or DBZ guitars by Diamond, and they're transitioning into becoming Diamond guitars.
So they've been taken over by another company?
It's a long story, and I only know, I don't know if I know anything for real. As you know, we might all be brains in jars somewhere. This may be a computer simulation.
This might be the Matrix.
This may be the Matrix. Maybe this is all a dream. Maybe this is my dream, and none of you exist, I don't really know. I'm assuming I live in the real world. So what I have learned, or think I have learned about DBZ is DBZ stands for Dean B. Zielinski, and Dean of Dean Guitars. So when he was 16, he started making like really wild-shaped heavy metal guitars. Dean Zielinski. Yeah. And then he had Dean Guitars, which is kind of a big company. There are a lot of Deans out there. I own a couple of them, actually, a couple of Deans. And they're actually pretty. Some of them are really quite good, and it's a long story, But anyway, he got kind of pushed out of his companies, from what I heard, because although he was very clever in his guitar design and everything, the business people found him hard to deal with. So he got pushed out of Dean Guitars, so he could no longer be Dean of Dean guitars.
That seems to be a fairly common story.
Yeah.
Guys that are great engineers or guitar builders or whatever are not great businessmen, and the businessmen push them out.
Well, I heard a guy. He's actually a looper, a live looper guy, musician. He says that there are two kinds of people. There's the hunters and the farmers. Because this guy's whole thing, I forget his name, but I think I may have heard him on the radio. But I met him at a looping convention once. Yeah. I'll be doing some live looping here, but in a minute. But he said his problem is he has extreme ADD, and but he's perfectly suited for live looping instruments. Because he'll play an instrument for a little while and lay down a loop, and then he'll overdub with another thing. He's got percussion and guitars and keyboards and stuff. So they said there are two kinds of people. There's the hunters and the farmers. The hunters can be the ones who actually discover something or invent something, and the farmers are the ones that can just keep getting the job done on a daily basis. And the farmers don't really, the farmer types don't really invent anything, or like that, but the hunters, they can invent things, but you can't like trust one to
Right.
keep the business going.
Not great business managers, but often.
Right. So anyway, so the thing about so the story I heard about Dean, this is on the wrong side of this, is that anyway, so he founded DBZ Guitars with some investors, and then so that flourished for a few years, and I have a collection of DBZs. I have several. I have another one with me, and I have a few more at home. But then he got pushed out of DBZs, and now it's Dean Zielinski Select. Now they had invented. There's a little difference. You can tell the ones after. This is before he got pushed out because this has this Dean thing. There was metal, and it fell off, and I had to glue it back on. But after that, they just have like a decal up there that says DBZ. So and I have a couple post Dean Zielinski DBZs, or at least one, I guess. No, maybe two. The Hailfire and the Royale. Anyway, but today I looked them up, and this guitar is available, but it's called DBZ by Diamond, or a Diamond guitar. Same guitar. So another one I found was an Imperial, which is my first DBZ guitar, but an Imperial semi-hollow body. And I looked at the thing, and it looked beautiful to me. And only $899.99 standing between me and that. And
that's almost $900.
Almost, yeah. So I guess you get free shipping. There's no sales tax, so it would be actually that amount. Yeah. But who knows? Anyway, so is that enough explanation, or is it too much?
So.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So two humbuckers, solid mahogany body. It's actually quite light and easy to play. The shape of the neck is a certain kind of a little bit of a V shape, pretty easy to finger. The Gibson Flying V is very heavy, and the DBZ is much lighter. It's just mahogany. And I'm playing through a, hang on, make a loop. I'm playing through a PV Valve King VK50, 50 watt tube amp. new strings. If I bend the notes a little bit, it's important. I was going to bend notes earlier, but I decided not to bend any notes till the end of the song, so I could tune them. All right, should have stretched it out more. I took this thing off the wall. I cleaned it up. I noticed there's some dust on the back here that I didn't get to, and I take all the strings off sometimes, occasionally on a guitar, and then I rub down the fingerboard with lemon oil, rather scrub it. Not on maple neck with varnish, but on the rosewood or ebony neck fingerboard, you know. So I did the lemon oil treatment and everything with it. And put new strings on it. It's telling the guys out front, you know, this guitar is like a midlife crisis, which is great because that means I'll live to be 118. Although I did buy it at least a couple of years ago, so maybe I won't make it that far. 114, I don't know, something like that. That's all right.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. I'm behind schedule in my life, but so anyway, yeah, DBZ. There's one that I wanted. It was the last DBZ that I wanted from the Musicians Pro Shop. Used to sell them. They did fairly well with them, I think, but they found they were hard to get, and then they were impossible to get. So they went through upheavals, and so I wanted the one called the Maverick, which is shaped a lot like a Fender Telecaster, but it has two humbucker pickups, Seymour Duncans, and it has this contour. I don't know if you can see it, but the body of this thing is contoured, as in it's sort of concave here in places. It's sort of, you know, see what I mean? Kind of sinks in there. And that's true, the top. It's sort of contoured. And then the back right along, right down here, it's contoured. The back is a little bit contoured, so it fits into your body better. So this one was very heavily contoured, the DBZ, and it has a spalted maple top, the Maverick. Also, the tuners are on one side, but they're on the wrong side. Sorry. Do it again. But, I mean, you know, go to the internets and look up DBZ Maverick, and you'll see what I mean. I wanted the blue one with a spalted maple through the top, and couldn't get one. But now there they are. They're available, and just not in the stores in town. So the Musicians Pro Shop is stocking Reverend guitars, which I've developed an obsession about. But that was until I found out you can get more DBZs. So anyway, I don't know, man. It's got to end somewhere. It'll all end in an estate sale.
While you're holding that heavy metal guitar,
Yeah.
maybe a little House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, well, all right. Now, House of the Rising Sun, you know, is an old folk song that an English band, I think the Animals, you know, did. So people think it's an Animals song, but it goes back to the 1890s or before. So we like go. There's your House of Rising Sun.
Should we mention your upcoming live appearances?
Well, we could, this weekend is going to be predictable. Should be wonderful weather. I would be in the patio at the Tuscan Moon, beautiful downtown Kelowna. I assume I'll be playing this guitar for at least part of the time. They're working on our getting the bob cam together here. So I'll be there at Kelowna, Iowa, Tuscan Moon, Friday, Saturday night. I'm supposed to start at 6, so I'll be there. There's Bob. I should be there at 6:30 because I'm a guitar
I did
player.
show up tonight.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah. In real life.
I thought I'd be here.
Yeah. Well, I thought you would too, and there you are. You could be phoning this in from home. We could work that out, with the modern technology. Got this big screen on behind me.
Skype from home or something?
Yeah, sure. Google Hangout, whatever. It feels good, do it. We could have a satellite link, but I don't think that'd be necessary from Solon. I mean, I know it's another city, but anyway, never mind.
I don't want, when I call in from out west, there's several second delay. I always have to just turn the computer off and talk to the phone because otherwise you'd say something, I'd say something, or you'd say something, there'd be a 5-second delay, and then I'd answer you, and then there'd be a 5-second delay.
Yeah. Well, we figure out how to do those things. And I'm really good at stuff like that because I'm used to showing up late. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, I'll be in Kelowna, Tuscan Moon, Friday, Saturday night. Get a reservation. The place has been really packed. This is the busy season.
Exit 80 on 218. Go west, young man.
Yeah, go west. Or you can drive down Highway 1 if you want to. I mean, it's not as bad as it was. They've widened it and stuff. It used to be... Highway 1 used to be this thing where you'd be coming along somebody who's frustrated and was passing when they shouldn't be. And then you see this car heading toward you in your lane at speed limit's 55, so they're going 65. And so you have to drive off on the shoulder and hope that there are no Amish there with the buggies.
I live very near Highway 1.
Yeah.
And in '08, the year of the flood, they had 380 closed for quite a while and detoured all the traffic up and down 1.
Yeah.
That was a lot of laughs.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of fun. There's a lot of detouring going on this year, too, because of construction. It's no fun. But like today, I went to West Music, and I think the most efficient way is to actually go out Highway 1, which goes quite a ways east before it hits the interstate, and then drive that to the Coralville exit. It's less painful. But even then, a lot of other people had the same idea, so the stoplights were all jammed up and, a lot of traffic. But because Dubuque Street has been narrowed. And and last time I checked, Rocky Shore Drive was closed and detoured around some neighborhoods and stuff, so never mind. But while I was at West, I was test piloting a bunch of Taylor guitars. They have 30 Taylor guitars. And these are, rather expensive USA-made guitars. And I took one of my, a Breedlove, which is, I got it there, guitar, which was a rather expensive USA-made guitar. And I was happier with my own Breedlove than I was with the Taylors that I played, which is good because having that sort of level of contentment is less expensive.
Being happy with the guitar you have, yes.
Yes. And,
saves money.
And I have 3 Breedloves, so, and 2 Taylors, but I didn't have the new Taylor. Anyway, never mind. But it's quite an experience. There are a lot of pretty snazzy guitars out there. And but anyway, I left with a positive balance in my account and with only the things I took with me. I say when you go, when you're hiking on the trail, just take out with you everything you took, and nothing more, nothing less, and that's what I did. So
anyway, Friday and Saturday night, Tuscan Moon, Kelowna, Iowa.
That's right. Make reservations. Yeah. I'll be there probably by 6:30. I'll play up a storm till at least 10 usually these days. I'm supposed to play from 6 to 9, but I usually play from 6:30 or so to 10 or beyond, 10:15 sometimes in the summer.
And you'll be playing this guitar this weekend?
Yeah, I'll probably bring another one along, which I did today. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'll do that. I'll do that for.
So if people want to see what a Lamborghini guitar looks like in real living color rather than on TV,
that's right. You can be there. What I do is I do a restaurant kind of gig when I'm in a restaurant, and I did a like I did another gig recently. On Friday, I did a birthday party gig for a woman who turned 80, and her extended family and many friends, and she had many, and it was a big party. But it's not a concert, and it's not me trying to do anything. It's not about me; it's about the people. So that's what I do, and this is what like a divertimento was that like Mozart would do, and he would ham it up though and ruin the thing because he's supposed to do like background music and stuff for rich people.
Yeah.
And he would do a little bit too much, and I try to do a little too much with some things like the restaurant. I do something outrageous like take something like this, and I had my own versions of it last week. But the thing is like when I do it, I'm not trying to do a concert. I'm trying to do something so you don't have to listen to it. Maybe you kind of want to listen to it. This is what I try to do. Maybe I fail, but you want to listen to it. You can talk to your friends. It's okay. So if people are on dates, and normally the Spanish guitar is my best bet for that. The nylon string, classical, flamenco, rumba, bossa nova, stuff like that. But it's kind of a soft, like gentle jazz thing too, which works pretty well.
Background music while people are eating.
Yeah, but not Muzak. I'm working on sort of an art form. I found that being a center of attention is interesting, but people fall asleep when I do what I really want to do with my high art. So you're playing the concert. I did this. I played 3 concerts in November '97. This is one of my stories I've told before. So I had the last chord filtering over the concert hall, and you hear this people snoring. And okay, now one of them was in Sheraton, Iowa, and there are a lot of old geezers in the audience. They have a performing arts center in Sheraton, Iowa, which I guess was the corporate headquarters of Hy-Vee before they moved to West Des Moines.
And since we had now become old geezers, we can say that.
That's right. I can say that. Look at me. I'm getting older every second that I'm standing here. So then I played University of Iowa, and people fell asleep. And I played Grinnell College, and these are good college students. They all fell asleep. They not all. Some fell asleep. So I got these complexes. This is years ago now, and almost 20 years ago. So I, started doing things like this. So that's my goal. But now one thing.
No Chuck Berry duck walk yet.
Well, I'm usually sitting, but that's actually the only place I play standing up. But anyway, so I think it was last weekend, or I don't know. I was playing the gig, and I think I was playing the nylon string guitar, and there was this sort of couple who were seated right up in front of me, and they seemed to enjoy everything. They ordered a number of drinks, and they had dinner, and they had nice dessert and everything like that. And later on, the young woman told the owners that they're actually our wait staff, because they were both dressed in black, which made me think they're either in some goth thing or else they were waiters, waiter or waitress or whatever at the brewery around the corner. What had happened was they had a reunion party. Had 40 people were supposed to be at a reunion party there, but the woman who called, 2 women called, and they had the date wrong, and so there's actually going to be the next week. So they were hired to serve this big room. And they were there, had nothing to do, and they were kind of bummed out about this because they'd gone through whatever they had to do to get there. And so they went there, they had dinner, and the thing she said was it was like the most romantic evening that she'd had, ever. Well, unfortunately, the guy she was with was a waiter and not her boyfriend, because I guess her boyfriend was somebody else. But so it was like the food, the ambiance, the nice evening out in the patio, and the Spanish guitar was anyway. But it was not her boyfriend, it was his coworker.
I have nothing against you. I just wish you were someone I loved.
That's right. Yeah.
As the Gatlin brothers said.
If you can't be with
the one you love,
love the one you're with. Do 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 do. Sorry, did I say that out loud? No, you did too. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Well, and I paraphrased the Gatlins first, so.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's right.
I do not have one thing against you, sweet lady. I just wish you were someone I loved.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, Anyway, I kind of like this guitar. I tell you, I haven't played it much. I've been on to other things. A couple of years ago, it was just a big thrill. And I will confess that I have made a commitment to get 2 more Reverend guitars. And I'm looking forward to them, I guess. But then I saw a DBZ Imperial semi-hollow. Now I have a DBZ Imperial, which is a really cool, kind of wide, electric guitar, makes a good jazz guitar, but it's about that thick, or even thinner. It's just really dense wood. This one is semi-hollow with 2 F-holes. And there's kind of a zebra stripe top, the natural quilted maple or whatever it is, curly maple, whatever top. And it's like, wow, man, that's cool. Boy, would I like to have a guitar like that. How can I get a guitar like that? Well, I can't, the guy in the guitar shop will let you pay it off, but he doesn't have those, so maybe I'll talk to him.
Which may be a good thing.
Probably. To say about Caspar Weinberger. Weinberger or Weinbrenner? Weinberger.
Weinberger was
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
And Reagan. How the Reagan administration, they blew those deficits out of the water. They spent so much on defense, and they also cut taxes to people who didn't.
Well, so much on the military. It's hard to say that a lot of that's defense.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of it was no good at all. They made things that nobody needed, and the Army said, "We don't need these tanks. We don't use tanks anymore like that." That was World War II. But anyway, they said of him, Weinberger, he never met a weapon system he didn't like. So he was like
Cap, right? That was his name.
Casper, yeah.
But they
Cap.
call him Cap.
Cap, yeah. A long time ago, but.
But yeah, I know right now they've got like 2,000 tanks sitting out in the California desert
Yeah.
that the Army told them they didn't need, but they went and built them anyway.
Yeah.
Because the congressmen in whose district they're built
Yeah.
said, we need these.
Yeah. To put his constituents to work.
Yeah.
I talked to a guy who just absolutely hated Obama because he said that he put, I think he put Sharia law into the health care bill, was his. And so I looked that up, and that's one of these things that some people will say. And he got it from some, right-wing talk radio person or something like that. But it's not true, actually. But back in the day, he was laid off from his job at Caterpillar, and then Reagan, generated a whole lot of money by a defense thing. So this guy got another job in another factory making like desks or something or whatever for the military that they didn't need, and that they were just going to sit in a warehouse someplace. But so he didn't like government spending and stuff like that. Didn't like the government in general. He hated Obama for being a Muslim and a devil worshiper or something like that. You see, but he really was never could say anything bad about Reagan because Reagan.
Spent a lot of money on military supplies.
And then that guy got a job in a factory at a point in his life where he was. And I think it was also the kind of time in your life when you don't have a. I read George Orwell's Down and Out in London and Paris, and he said that an educated person could live in his mind if he's unemployed and poor. He could still live in his mind, but just a working person, if they don't have a job, they just fall apart. They go crazy because they. Because he was an intellectual, so he was down and out and living in the same conditions as these homeless, laid off factory workers in England at the time, and in the 1930s or whatever. But he had been to university, so he had he could live in his mind. Anyway, so
Caterpillar's had some cutbacks again. This time because of the restrictions on coal.
Oh yeah,
because that's an awful lot of Caterpillar machinery lately has gone to. Open pit mining.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they lay people off, but I guess I don't know if open pit mining is. If you Google me, which you probably won't get around to doing, but if you did, you'd see that I did contributed some music, to a documentary called "Raising Appalachia," as in raising, it was raised to the ground, as in tearing it apart, tearing it down, and one of my pieces is on the soundtrack. They use it. And it's about open pit mining and destruction of, I mean, the miners used to dig in the ground, I guess, you know, and they, wow, I'm almost done.
A lot of it's out west now, in
Yeah.
Wyoming, Montana. And
Right. Yeah. But clean coal
yeah.
and the tooth fairy. Never mind. I don't. Okay. Well, anyway, this is my EBZ, and I have Mark Decker over here too, who's he used to work on my show. He's an audience member now, but he used to work on my show back in the old days. Got nothing to say. It's okay, man. You don't have to. But he was the voice of Tom's Guitar Show back when people used to call. His voice would come clicking and says, "Tom, you have a call." And it was him. And then he would be the voice of reason. I got Bob, but this is that's 20 years ago. But
Maybe that's why we've lost our callers. Perhaps you should bring him back.
that's what I need. The phone jockey. All right, so I guess I've wasted a lot of time talking about DBZ guitars, and it was John. It was John. We still haven't done this. I left him hanging with this chord at the end of one show. Hear that chord? E7 flat 9. You just really want it to resolve to? See, that ends up at the end, right before the repeat sign. Don't you just long to hear an A minor? Yeah, just please give me an A minor chord. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing with this guitar. Hang on a second. I'm going to see if this works, huh? That's fine. I'm going to unplug this one, and I'm going to play a DBZ Bolero, which you can still get, again. One DBZ Bolero. It's his take on the Les Paul. It's a little bit narrower in shape than the Les Paul, quite heavy for a little fellow. Dense, heavy-duty wood. I'll push the button and see what happens. Well, that's loud. Hang on. All right. So here's a that's too loud, isn't it there, huh? Am I redlining in there a little bit? A little bit, yeah. All right, well, this is a pretty hot little number here. As I say, it's I have a Les Paul, a real Gibson Les Paul, but it's a Les Paul Studio, all mahogany, so it doesn't have this maple cap. As you can see, this guitar has a mahogany back, but it has this layer of maple on top, very dense maple. And this gives it a sort of a shimmer. In a lot of ways, this is a better Les Paul than my Les Paul is, my actual Gibson. And I haven't actually shined this one up for the show. I took it down. I was playing it a couple weeks ago, and it acquires dust. But anyway, one thing this has is it has a, that's it, this one. Is this? Okay, it has a push-pull coil tap. So it sounds like this. That's both pickups as humbuckers, double coil pickups. And if I take this out here, I get. It's a single coil, so it can sound not unlike a Telecaster. Thank you. Actually, a great guitar, but I don't like to tap the coil because if I want to play a Strat or a Telly, I'll play a Strat or a Telly. I have 11 Strats, 8 Tellys. That's enough, isn't it? I mean, I don't need to fake it with this. I mean, you know. Oh, sorry.
Stores get out their back to school stuff, and you play the days are getting shorter.
I suppose, yeah, there you go. Hey, days are getting shorter now, aren't they?
Yeah, we've passed the summer solstice.
Well, we can cool off a little bit, and everybody can complain about the winter and how the
Yeah.
sun goes down too soon.
And pretty soon we'll be out scraping the windshields and shoveling the driveways.
Yeah, and there I'll be, trying not to drive sideways, making my commute to Cedar Rapids. I haven't heard from Co, but,
Presumably they'll sign you on for another year.
well, as far as I know, I haven't been fired yet. I expect to get fired at any moment, but hey, man, I played banjo at a faculty recital. And actually, I played that Lamborghini Yellow Flying V at a faculty recital, and I didn't get fired. Then I played banjo, and I didn't get fired, so I played ukulele, and I still didn't get fired. So I don't know what else I can do that's, within my... I mean, the things I'm not going to do. There's some, there are egregious acts that I'm not going to do. If I'm going to commit any kind of atrocity, it has to be musical, if you know what I mean. Bring the wrong guitar,
Well, there is punk rock yet.
I suppose. But hey, punk rock, I can't shake my head around like that. My neck is just, it's kind of stiff, man. I can't do that.
Well, there are no wrong notes in punk rock.
That's right. Well, now I don't really want to. You know, this amp here. I'm on the clean channel. I'm just getting a little interference here. But if I flipped it over to the other channel, boost, gain, volume. Okay, so if I put the gain up all the way.
Yeah, drive us right into distortion and feedback.
Yeah, I go like. See, I'm getting a lot of noise now.
Tell us how evil your father is.
Yeah, right. Well, you have to hate your father. But I don't hate my father. I can't really. That's my problem. I made it stop. Yeah, I was just having a little fun, sort of.
I'll go back to the bottom.
Yeah, this guitar is a little bit noisy in here. I hear a little hum. Nice guitar, but the other one is a little bit. Flying V is a little cleaner. People, I mean, okay, so when I was playing that hard rock tape thing, whatever I was doing, when I was pushing to the heavy lead channel. See, it's called lead channel. There are two channels in the amp. One is nice and clean. The other one is, of course, loud and obnoxious. But I was getting a lot of noise, a lot of strong hum. The thing is that if you want to be noisy anyway, noise doesn't bother you. And what I'm trying to do, see, what I prefer is a guitar that's very, very quiet, and I don't hear anything except the actual notes I'm playing, and have each one be sort of like, the tone I want. Kind of like classical guitar. See, if I'm over here, you hear a hum. Over here, it's quiet. So if I play like this, I'm fine.
Aim your antenna away from the noise.
That's right. That's a little trick. I mean, if you have a guitar that you really like P90s are these kind of fat like single coil pickups you can get, and I've always had problems. I like the sound, but they're noisy. Sorry. But if you aim the right direction while you're playing, and this is the old trick, it can make the sound go away. So you're there playing like this. Say, are you trying to make a point? Am I trying to? No, I'm trying to make the sound go away, because if I go over here, I hear interference. But anyway, I mean, this is humbuckers. It's not supposed to be doing this, but I guess I just wanted to. Anyway, here's my bolero. Bolero. But I'm going to go back to the caballo really quick before the show's over.
Not gonna play bolero.
The thing about playing bolero is it takes a long time. And the whole thing about it is you got the same thing over and over again, getting louder and louder. But the different, what have I done here? The different instruments in the orchestra get to have their time, you see. And since I've only got the one, it wouldn't be worth it, you know. But which is fine. Bolero's great. Ravel, all that stuff is great. But
Or perhaps distant drums.
there you go. But the other thing about it is the snare drum. That's the star, because they go like all the way through it. And
Well, you know they got a machine that can do that now.
that's right. Yeah, that's the saddest of all the drummer jokes. How many drummers does it take to screw in a light bulb? Ah, they got a machine for that now. Yeah. Oh, wait, where were you? Okay, push this button. That's a little bit noisy. I don't know. Oh, well. Anyway, okay, so DBZ, Caballo, their version of a... Yeah, Flying V. It's pretty quiet. Pretty good. Kind of like this. See, all these lights and stuff cause me to hum. Not me, but the guitars, you know. I'm sorry, I'm just goofing off. I was going to try to make a good 5 minutes in this show that I could put on YouTube. And I don't think I've achieved that. And now it's too late because I've got like 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah, we have a goal for next week.
Yeah. Something like this anyway, but I'll be back next week. I'll try harder next week.